they use older Indigos, and they want to know when is the proper time to reinvest, buy a new one.
So, reinvestment is obviously driven by the applications that your customers need, right? I mean, if technology continues to march on, it's getting faster, it's getting better, there's more applications. I mean, a lot of the Indigos back in the day didn't have white ink. One of the wonders of Indigo is you can upgrade them in the field. You don't have to take a forklift and replace it. Many of them can add white ink. Many of them can add multiple features to it. So depending on their business, they may want to upgrade or they may want to look at a net new product.
One of our friends from Print Chat, Don Carley, wants to know, how do you provide on-demand interactive learning for customers?
So that's a great question. We're actually about to launch a BrainShock login for our customers to be able to go on and see what series of ongoing learnings. Also through the DScoop user group that has been set up for HP users. There's a way to log on there if you're an HP user and see and chat with various operators and other companies to figure out how to do things.
That's great. Our folks at home love that kind of thing. This is from Kelly Malazzi. What do you say to those who still resist digital?
Wow, does anyone still resist digital? Really, you've got to look at your business. I mean, the world is moving on. If you don't look at digital, if you don't realize the power of digital from whichever of the suppliers that are out there, then you're missing an opportunity in your business, and your customers will become educated and they will go elsewhere. I know a lot of people like to sell the long-run offset, but there's always someone in there selling short-run digital. And over time, they'll build a relationship and they'll go, we can do the long-run offset too. And then all that business goes away.
Okay, and this question follows up on that. So that question is about which printers are resisting digital. So this is more about from the next person, Todd Cordell. How can printers recommend digital if they don't know a lot about their customers? They know they're supposed to drill down and provide value and so forth. Are there general things that Indigo can provide to get print buyers to choose digital?
So we actually work with a lot of ad agencies, and unfortunately Doris wasn't here today, but we follow a model working from the bottom up and the top down. So we work with a lot of the creative agencies in New York and around the country, educating them as to what's possible. We also work directly with a lot of the major brands, the Procter & Gamble's, the Budweiser's, the Cokes, to make them aware of what's possible, right? So that they then come and request it. Right? You've seen the Share a Coke campaign that's out there with the various names. That's all done digitally on Indigo. You'll also see, if you come over to the Indigo booth, the Bud Light cans, which are using a technology called Mosaic, where we can create every can is different, every one is unique. So this is a great way to make the brands aware of what's possible and the power of digital. That's one way to do it. The other way is to work with our customers and help them become aware of the specific values in each of the vertical markets and how to approach them and how to address it. And beyond that, also how to talk to marketing people. Right? Print sales reps are used to selling to print buyers. Now they've got to go talk to marketing people. To them, it's like speaking Spanish. So we need to help them understand how to speak the speak and create value proposition so they can go talk to them in a constructive way.
Great answers. So we've got some fun questions and some serious questions. So that was a good one for print buyers. Here's one for you to sell a little bit more. Who are your competitors and how are you different or better?
Well, that's a good question. There's lots of competitors out there. I mean, Xerox is here in the room, Kodak. In this competition from inkjet versus the liquid electro photographic models. Indigo is very different, right? We are more like offset than any of our competitors. They use a toner-based product, which we like to refer to as more of a peanut butter on the substrate. We use an olive oil, more of an ink, so it actually does lay into the fibers and acts more like an offset press. It's easier for us to match an offset press than any other guys. We can also run 1 through 7 colors. Right, you pick it, you can put in a spark color, we can run white, we can run clears. So the Indigo is a really, really flexible device that will run plastics, will run cottons, will run foils, will run a whole bunch of different materials. So it's a it's really a multi-tool for a printer. Right? It's able to do many, many things. And it's all of those pieces, when you add it up, makes it different. And it enables you to be able to go have conversations with creatives and with design folks who are trying to do some of this innovative stuff. And it is a tool that they can understand and they can really get inside of. I mean, a great example is the Martha Stewart thing, right, where they were absolutely blown away by the capability of it. And it looked like offset.
Okay, this one is from Robert Hunt at Print Apply. He wants to know, are QR codes and pearls dead?
Wow. Not on everything I seem to pick up. The QR code is ugly, and it's ugly on purpose, so you know what it is. Personalized URLs, yeah, I mean, I don't see those going away anytime soon. I mean, one of the challenges that marketers have is getting people to interact with their products, right? And we all want to get them online onto a virtual property. And the challenge is, how do you do that? If it's just a flat piece of print, how do I get them there? Am I going to tell them to go to www.Procter & Gamble and then you've got to go here and here and here? No, I've got either a personalized URL or I've got a QR code that makes it easier for them to interact. The other challenge is, we know that email is very difficult to reach a huge chunk of the audience because they don't. I have to text and call my 16-year-old to tell her to go look at her email. Right? So that's the challenge, right? So how do you reach through electronic marketing if no one looks at it? So print is very much still there, but print needs to integrate with those electronic properties.
We'll just ask one more question. Tell us a little bit about, well, actually, maybe I have two questions. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the importance of one-to-one communications and how Indigo plays into that, and then just let everybody know how they can get in touch and, anything else you want to say about that, your booth.
Thank you. So one-to-one communications or variable data or versioning is huge, right? As we deal with people today that are running hither and yon, doing 5 jobs at once, and just the amount of noise that everyone's hit with on a daily basis from products and marketers and everything like that, it all comes down to relevance. Whether you're selling print or you're selling a product, you've got to reach that audience, and it's got to relate to them at the moment they're looking at it or addressing it. There's a great example. We have the L'Oreal kids shampoo bottles, and they're all placed about this high on a shelf for a reason, right? So a little 6-year-old comes walking in and goes, I want Woody or I want the Buzz shampoo, and you've got a choice. You can say no, and they have a screaming fit on the floor, or you can buy it. Right. So as that has grown, now we're seeing all sorts of versions. As each movie comes out, there's regionalization. So that creates a huge problem with SKU proliferation. Now all of a sudden they're dealing with thousands and thousands of labels. So variable data plays into that. Variable data plays into all of these pieces today. It's all about creating relevance so that your customers will engage and buy the product or will do whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. If you all walk through stores now, you see you've got to go through this maze of junk to get out of the store. That's not variable data, that's not targeted, that's just haphazardly put there hoping it's you're going to grab it, right? But there's ways to be able to create point of sale materials and stuff that interacts and is relevant and grabs their attention. And so we see more and more of that, even down to putting stuff on the back of magazines. We did a huge onset piece with the inkjets through Hearst magazines, where we were actually delivering relevant messages to people in magazines, and the uptick rate from that was huge. So we know it works, we know it drives results, and the thing is to make sure that the piece is designed and it's going to relate to the customer. And if you want to find out more about this, the HP Indigo booth, you got to walk by it to come in. And inside the booth we have a bunch of the Indigo presses, but we also have a bunch more of applications on the walls that you can see the stuff that people have done. And this is stuff that's really successful. It's either won awards or it's driven huge customer upticks. So come on by and have a look.
Thank you so much. And Boris isn't kidding. I've had the privilege of going to 3D Scoop events now, and if you are an Indigo user, this is something you really should look into if you haven't gone before. It's a user community. Everybody's sharing with each other. The application showcases in the D-Scoops are absolutely incredible. I mean, from the floor that's printed to the walls to every product on the shelves to every book on the bookshelves, one-off publishing. It's incredible. So I just want to thank HP very much for hosting an event here and for your time. And thanks to everyone at home, everyone in the booth. Really appreciate it. Our next panel is at 1 o'clock. Please take photos in the photo booth. You can mail them home. You can hang them on our graffiti wall. If there's any food left, help yourself. Really appreciate it. We have these headbandians, we're calling them. Everyone can leave here looking like an alien, like me. Enjoy yourself. Thank you very much.